You grow up in Youngstown, Ohio, back when the mills still coughed smoke into the sky like they owned it. Your dad spent 30 years welding beams at the steel plant, hands black with grease and calluses thick as leather. He came home every night smelling like hot metal and sweat, collapsing into that old recliner with a Pabst blue ribbon in hand. Never raised a fist, just raised the volume on the TV until the laugh tracks drowned out everything else. Your mom worked the register at the corner store, ringing up cigarettes and lottery tickets for folks chasing dreams that never paid off. She smiled through it all, but her eyes got tired early. School wasn't your thing. Math classes felt like staring at a wall. History like reading about someone else's mistakes. You dropped out at 17, figuring a diploma wouldn't fix the leaky roof or the bills stacking up like unpaid promises. The plant hired you at 18, no questions asked. They needed bodies on the line, and you were strong enough to stand for 12-hour shifts. Your first day, they handed you a wrench and pointed to the assembly belt. Tighten bolts on luxury sedans headed for showrooms in Chicago or New York. Cars that cost more than your family's house. You watched them roll off the line, shiny and perfect, while your boots stuck to the oil-slicked floor. The work was steady, but it ground you down. Wake up at 5, punch in at 6, bolt after bolt until the whistle blew. Lunch in the break room, sandwiches from home because the vending machines ate your quarters. Guys around you talked about unions and pensions, but mostly they joked about retiring to Florida, knowing deep down they'd die right here in Ohio. You dreamed bigger, though. Nights after shift, you'd sit on the porch with a smoke, staring at the highway leading out of town. Imagine driving west, maybe to California, where the sun didn't hide behind factory clouds. But dreams don't pay rent, so you kept showing up. That's where Manny came in. He was a lifer on the line, 40-something with a gut from too many beers and a grin that hid sharp edges. Worked the night shift mostly, but you'd overlap sometimes. One afternoon in the locker room, he catches you staring at nothing, lost in your head. "Kid," he says, slapping your shoulder. "You look like you're planning a jailbreak. What's eating you?" You shrug it off, but he doesn't let go. Over smokes in the parking lot, he talks about the old days, when the plant ran 3 shifts and bonuses flowed like water. Now, layoffs looming, wages frozen. "Gotta make your own luck," he says, eyes flicking to the security gate. A week later, he pulls you aside during break. "Got a side thing," he whispers, voice low under the hum of machines. "Parts go missing all the time. Brakes, alternators, stuff they write off as scrap. We move them out the back, sell to shops that don't ask questions. Easy cash, no hassle." Your gut twists, but the number he throws out, 500 a run, makes your ears perk up. Enough for a down payment on that beat-up Chevy you've been eyeing, the one that could take you out of here. "Think about it," Manny says, walking away like he just asked for the time. You think about it all night. Dad's face when the plant closed his line, how he sat in that chair staring at the wall, beer after beer until he passed out. Mom counting change for groceries. Your own reflection in the mirror, already looking older than 18. Next day, you nod to Manny. "I'm in. First run simple. After shift, you stay late pretending to clean tools." Manny hands you a duffel bag, heavy with engine parts. Slip out the service door, past the fence where the camera's blind. Meet a guy in a van at the old mill lot. Hand over the bag, pocket 200 cash. Feels like stealing candy. No sirens, no drama. Just green in your wallet. It builds from there. Once a month turns to weekly. Manny brings in 2 more guys. Rico, a quiet welder with a family to feed, and Jake, a hothead mechanic who talks too much, but knows engines inside out. You four become a crew, ghosts in the factory shadows. You learn the tricks, swap manifests, mark good parts as defective, load them into scrap bins that Manny hauls out, sell to chop shops in Cleveland or Pittsburgh. Money stacks up. You buy that Chevy, fix it up nice. Start saving for a ticket out, maybe trade school in Columbus, something with computers, away from the grease. Life feels lighter. Weekends, you hit the bars with the crew, buying rounds like you're kings. Manny tells stories of his youth, running bootleg in the 80s. Rico sends cash home to his folks in Mexico. Jake blows it on girls and bikes. You? You hoard it under the mattress, dreaming of highways. But cracks show early. One night, a security guard lingers too long near the loading dock. Manny bribes him with $50, but the guy's eyes say he'll want more next time. Part of the game. Manny shrugs. Your dad notices the new clothes, the fuller fridge, asks where the extra comes from. Overtime? You lie, hating how easy it slips out. He nods, but his gaze lingers, like he sees the shadow behind the words. Mom just smiles. Glad you're not struggling like they did. 6 months in, Manny ups the ante. Big buyer, he says, excitement in his voice. Guy from Detroit wants bulk, transmissions, ECUs, the works, talking $5,000 each. Your heart races. That's escape money, real freedom. The crew agrees. You plan it careful. Stockpile parts in an abandoned warehouse off Route 7. Load a truck under moonlight. The meat's set for a Friday night. Empty lot behind a shuttered diner. You drive the truck, nerves like live wires. Manny rides shotgun. Rico and Jake follow in a car. The buyer's there early, a slick guy in a leather jacket, van idling. He inspects the goods, nods approval. Cash exchanges hands, crisp stacks that feel like victory. Then headlights flood the lot. Sirens wail, cops everywhere, badges flashing, guns drawn. Freeze! FBI! Chaos erupts. Jake bolts, gets tackled. Rico freezes, hands up. Manny curses, reaching for something in his coat, gets dropped with a taser. You stand there, world spinning, as an agent cuffs you. The buyer? Undercover Fed? Been building a case on auto theft rings hitting Rust Belt plants. Your side hustle? Just a thread in a bigger web. Jail cells cold, fluorescent lights buzzing like angry bees. They separate you, interrogate one by one. Your lawyer's a public defender, overworked and blunt. They got you on tape, manifests, the works. Conspiracy to transport stolen goods, 10 years if it sticks. Your stomach drops, 10 years. You're barely 20. The Fed offers a deal. Testify against Manny and the crew, walk with probation. Name suppliers, buyers, the guard on the take. Betray the guys who pulled you in, who laughed with you over beers. Manny's got kids. Rico's sending money home. Jake's dumb but loyal. You pace the cell all night, weighing loyalty against freedom. Dad visits, face line deeper than before. Son, he says through the glass, I lost everything when the plant went. Don't lose your life too. His voice cracks. First time you've seen him close to tears? You think of the line, the endless bolts, the dreams choked by factory air. Then the cash, the thrill, the trap snapping shut. In the end, you take the deal. Courtrooms packed with families, yours, the crew's. You stand on the stand, voice steady but insides churning, spill it all. Manny stares daggers. Rico looks away. Jake mutters, rat. Judge bangs the gavel. Crew gets 5 to 8 each. You get 2 years probation, community service, no record if you stay clean. Walk out the courthouse broke. Feds seize the cash, the Chevy. Town whispers follow you. Snitch, traitor. Old friends cross the street. Dad claps your back, says it's over. But it's not. Nightmares of sirens, guilt like rust eating your gut. You move to Akron, crash with an aunt who asks no questions. Get a job at a small garage, sweeping floors at first, then turning wrenches on beaters. Owner's an old-timer, sees your knack for engines, hears the ping in a motor like a bad note. Promotes you quick. Days blend, oil changes, brake jobs, honest work that pays peanuts but sleeps easy. Years pass. You save scraps, buy a tiny shop in a strip mall. Joe's Auto Repair, sign says. No luxury cars, just neighbors' minivans and pickups. You marry a girl from the diner, Sarah, who brings coffee and doesn't pry about your past. Kid comes along, little boy with your eyes and her smile. Weekends, you teach him to throw a ball, not tighten bolts. One night, fixing a transmission, radio plays an old Springsteen tune about factory towns and broken dreams. You pause, wrench in hand, remembering Manny's grin, the cash's weight, the siren's scream. The real dream wasn't the money, you realize, wiping grease from your hands. It was breaking free from the chains, the lines grind, the hustle's trap. You got out broke but breathing, building something real. Outside, the highway hums, but you don't dream of running anymore. Home's right here in the quiet turn of a bolt. That's a story. Fiction, sure, but in every Rust Belt town, some kid's staring at the line, dreaming of a way out. If it hits home, think twice before chasing shortcuts. They bend back on you every time. If this story hit you, drop a like, subscribe, and stay locked in for the next one.